Fans, welcome to a very special episode of Xtreme Memories. My name is Kris Kloss. I'm your host. We want to thank everybody who's been joining us, especially since day one back in 2000 when we started these awesome interviews. We're doing the watch-alongs now, but this is a very special episode. I'm going to tell you why in just a little bit. Xtreme Memories on the 15th and 30th of every single month. Be sure to like, share, comment, subscribe to the Wrestling Chatter YouTube channel. A lot of great programs on here as well. All right, so a very special episode. That's what we said. And before we talk about why we're here today, I want to introduce my guests. That's right, plural guests. I'm just going to go in order. Let's go in alphabetical order here so I don't upset anybody. First up, he was in XPW. He was one of the greats. All these guys are some of the greats, but this guy held the XPW King of the Deathmatch title. He's done it all outside of XPW as well. We'll get into all that with all my guests. Let's welcome in Billy the Messiah. Welcome in, Messiah. How are you, sir?
Hey, what's up, Chris? How are you doing, man?
Good, man. Good to see you, and thank you for being back on the show. Our second guest right now, hungry, homeless, and hardcore. He is Homeless Jimmy. Jimmy, how are you? You're in a car. Maybe you are still homeless. I don't know. What's going on?
I'm in a truck, actually.
You're in a truck. Okay, that's a step up then. All right. The house is coming soon.
I'm homeless, not truckless, Jimmy.
All right, let's do that. Final guest. We're going to welcome him in right now. He was the rock superstar, Kaos. Kaos, welcome to Xtreme Memories, my friend.
Hey, what's up, guys? How you guys doing? What's up, Kris Kloss? What's up, Jimmy?
Hello.
What's up, Billy?
What's going on?
What's up, dude?
All right, well,
Long time no see.
Yeah.
It's really good
I
to
like
see
how
all
you
you
have that
guys.
whole blurry thing where it focuses on you, Kaos.
Well, that's because the room's messy.
Oh, okay, yeah, but I like that whole thing you got going on. How'd you do that? With the camera settings?
Yeah, something with the StreamYard settings.
I figured it was because you're the superstar. It's got to focus on you, right?
Yeah. Yes.
There it is.
Yeah.
Well, guys, thank you all for joining us once again, fans. And Joey, Billy, Jimmy, thank you guys for being here. We are celebrating. I don't know if we're celebrating, but today, this episode is going to air 25 years to the date of something that we were all a part of, and that was Heatwave 2000. It wasn't an XPW event. It was an ECW event. And can you believe it, guys? 25 years ago to the day that we all, and people still, I don't know about you guys, but I'm sure you experience it too, but people still talk about it. People still bring it up 25 years later.
No one talks about it.
Oh,
Hey,
well,
you
if
know
you go to
what?
wrestling shows, they talk about it.
Yeah. Hey, Messiah, people do talk about it, but
Yes.
everybody gets the story wrong.
Right.
Well,
Yeah.
I'll agree with
They
that
all say
part.
we got our ass kicked.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well,
I
let
always
me
tell the
ask you
story-
guys one by one. Okay, so us four were there along with Christy Mist, and we're going to pay tribute, obviously, to the late great Supreme. He was there next. He was there next to us. Let me go. There we are, right there, guys. Check it out. Supreme.
Oh, look how young we look.
Yeah. Supreme, Christy, myself, Joey, that's you, Billy, and Homeless Jimmy right there on the end. So this was
Wait,
it,
hang
guys.
on. Wait, hang on. Why didn't anybody, like any of you, if you were my friends, tell me my ears were that big? I never realized my ears were that friggin' big.
Yeah,
Sorry for not telling you, man.
I don't know, man.
Oh, now I can't hear you guys. Hang on.
How can you not hear with those ears?
No,
Come
with
on.
those ears.
All right. Well, Billy's playing with his audio.
There we
right
go.
now, hopefully. Okay, cool.
I can hear you now.
I was gonna say,
It
Billy,
must be a
how can
It
you
must
not
be a
hear?
Honolulu thing.
How can you not hear
Yeah.
with those ears, man? You know.
I know, seriously.
Well, hey, man, there we are, and the big story right there. Yes, believe it or not, I mean, when you go, like you said, Joey, you go to shows. Doesn't matter. I just got back from Alabama, did a show. People still talk about that. I actually just worked with Tommy Dreamer. We never crossed paths. We just worked together, and you know, Everything's fine, by the way. No problems. But there was a problem back in the day. We were there.
What did Tommy say?
He said, "Oh yeah. Well, good to meet you, Chris. Good to meet you, Tommy."
See?
We never. And I told him, I said, we never crossed paths. This is the first time I worked with everybody at ECW. And he's like, man, this is the first time. Oh, okay. All right. No, but again, back then at this time, guys, as you guys know, I mean, we were protecting our turf. These guys were protecting their turf when they came out. But let's start from the genesis. We were in LA. We started in 99 in XPW. Of course, we all go back before that with the SECWs, the UIWAs, Slammers, all that. But LA in 1999, XPW started. So you fast forward 1 year, we were already on television, right? In April of 2000, across the country, America One Network. And we were positioned in a lot of markets, WW or ECW, XPW, then WWE, that 3-hour block. It was a great slot to be on for us, of course. And ECW made the announcement that they're coming to Los Angeles. Now, they've rarely ventured out from the East Coast, a little bit in the Midwest kind of range, North Midwest kind of range. But when they came out to LA, talk to me, guys. What was, why do you remember it? Because, you know, I mean, the story from the XPW side is, hey, we're starting to make waves. We're starting to do some serious things out here. We got guys like Sabu. We got guys like Terry Funk coming in, Shane Douglas, which was a big deal at that time, Cronus. You guys were coming into your own big time. You guys are really starting to really make a name for yourselves in the ring. And then when we heard that they were coming out here, I mean, we can look back and say a lot of things. Rob got the tickets here, you know, and we had to go. But at the same time, I remember there was a feeling of, we all took so much pride in this company. I think I could speak for all of us, that when this happened, it's so different now, but when this happened, I mean, we really were protecting our brand, our baby at the time, right? Our bread and butter as far as wrestling. So talk to me, guys. If you want to start, Billy, we'll go alphabetical order again. So make it fair so I don't cut anybody off or anything.
I just remember that they were coming to town. I remember Rob, I don't want to say he was pissed, but he was kind of giddy about it. You know, he found some humor in the fact that they were coming to LA. After all these years, they're finally coming to LA. I know in Rob's mind and in our minds probably back then, I don't think this way now, but it was like, oh, they're coming out here because of us, because we're doing so well. I mean, maybe, I don't know. I think it's a natural progression. You want to expand, you want to do stuff. The ECW fans were always asking for ECW to come out to the West Coast. They're finally doing it. But it was essentially, yeah, they're coming into our turf. And I just, and I believe, wait, did I? No, I hadn't started working at the office yet. Jimmy was already working at the office at that point.
Mm-hmm.
So Jimmy probably has a little bit more insight since he was around all that stuff. But I remember the idea was, hey, why don't we go to the show and essentially just show our T-shirts? And then I, in passing, made a comment to Rob or just, I remember reading like the Wrestling World, magazines, was Bill After magazines, and there was pictures of like of Perry Saturn and Tommy Dreamer at a WWE show, and Saturn's like sleeping, and then there's Tommy Dreamer with showing, hey, we bought tickets to this boring show, and I just kind of told Rob that, and Rob's like, really? I was like, yeah, they go to the ECW or the WWE shows, not knowing that that they were in cahoots with WWE,
right?
And WWE was helping fund some of ECW, but I think Rob found that interesting as well. It's like, well, why don't we go and not be disruptive, but just, hey, you're in California. This is where we run. We're going to let you know that, this is where our turf is, essentially.
Right.
Yeah, I wanna see if I can make something clear. I was never told that we were supposed to go there and start a fight or start any shit, right? I mean,
Yeah, none of us were.
Yeah. I never heard anything like that. That's one of the things that, oh, yeah, I heard you guys went there to start a shit. No, we just went there to represent. So, yeah, go ahead, Billy. I'm sorry. I just wanted to make that clear because you were on that whole when you were.
Yeah.
Because I never really talked to Rob like you guys did. He never cared to have a conversation with me, especially back then, you know. So
well,
I was just like, oh, yeah, just send Jimmy. He'll go.
Yeah. I'm just going by, like, I just remember during, like, well, dude, my mind is so fuzzy. But yeah, I just remember it's like, hey, we're going to go to the show. I do remember, and I do, like, tickets were bought so that Rob and Lizzie could sit in the upper deck. I do remember that. And Kevin was going to sit up there.
Yeah.
And it was like, yeah, we're just going to go and just make our presence known. And that's, you know, we'll show some t-shirts. And legitimately, it was just, let's get some free press out of this and show some t-shirts. That's all it was.
Right.
There was nobody telling us to jump or cause a disturbance or jump. None of that at all. It was, let's just try to get our t-shirts on camera. And that's all it was.
Oh. And then, Jimmy, did you want to add anything to that? Because you were there, and is that how you remember it too? And is there anything else you may have heard in the office?
Well, I got away with wearing my shirt because I wore that stupid homeless Jimmy gray shirt with the shit on the front of it. The cheapest looking shirt that XPW had. But
Right.
I got to wear it on the back. It said XPW. They didn't make me turn my shirt inside out.
That's true. Never thought of that.
They had that wannabe, whatever his name was, Bob Marley or whatever his name was, Marley something.
Doc Marley.
Doc Marley. He was pointing us all out, and that's when the guys made you turn the shirts inside out.
Right.
I was like, nah, I got my shirt. It doesn't say XPW except for it said it on the back.
And again, before Joey steps in, I was told, and Joey probably heard this too. Vic Grimes, this is before Vic, was Vic already with us? I don't know. But Vic said that when we showed up, Jasmine St. Clair was pointing us all out.
Yeah. She was right there with
security.
Doc Marley. Yeah, she was right there with Doc Marley.
Yeah, that's so-and-so, that's so-and-so. And again, dude, I never met Jasmine. I don't know if she knew who the hell I was. But it was just like, she, you know, this guy. And again, I don't want to talk bad about Jasmine. I just know what I've been told about her and what I observed. I know she was a shit starter. I know she liked to stir the shit a little bit. And so I can only imagine that maybe, and again, hopefully this doesn't come off like I'm talking bad about her, but she, you know, she was XPW. Now she's ECW and she's being a good soldier. And it's like, hey, Paul, this is so-and-so, this is so-and-so, this is so-and-so, this is so-and-so. And, you know, God knows what she said about Rob to whomever, and probably just built it up to something that it was never meant to be.
Right. Joey, please share. You were there too, man. We were all there, and share your thoughts, please. I'd love to hear what you have to say. 25 years later, my friend.
25 years ago today, huh, Klaus?
Mm-hmm.
You know, one of my biggest things, just like Jimmy said, we were never told to do anything. It was just to wear our T-shirts, and like I was telling you guys that everyone gets the story wrong. Like, we never jumped the guardrail. Everyone says we jumped the guardrail. We started hitting people or whatever the case is. That never happened. They said that we got beat up afterwards. And it's not pride that, hey, no, we didn't get beat up. My story is, I remember we got kicked out. They grabbed me and Billy, and I don't really remember what happened to Jimmy, Supreme, or even you, Kloss. But I remember when the whole thing went down, they took us out, and I saw this guy in this tan suit, maybe like a tan polo shirt and tan pants, and he went and he just punched Billy in the side of his head because Billy was in front of me, and Atlas Security had both of us on each arm. And I was like, who the fuck is this guy? And he had gray hair. And I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? It turns out, like, you know, it's I'm a mark, you know, because I'm like, Paulie Dangerous, he's got black hair, you know, but I guess he dyes his hair for the shows. So I figure that's who he is. And they throw us out the doors. and he's telling us, hey, spit on us, motherfucker, spit on us. And we're just kind of sitting there with our hands like, hey, I'm kind of shocked. What the fuck just happened, really? The whole thing went crazy. We stood up. Hey, we decided, hey, they flip our shirts inside out because we can't get in the arena. So what we're going to do during this part of the main event, we're going to flip them back over. So we do that. I don't even think I got my shirt off or to flip it back inside out before they grabbed us, took us outside. But the big thing I always like to remember is that they always say we got beat up by the ECW wrestlers. I remember they finally closed the door. I think Paulie Dangerous probably spit on us. They closed the door, and then all of a sudden it was quiet. It was 18th Street, right? The 10 freeway was right there, and everything was really quiet. And I remember Billy and I walked to the parking lot, and we're just kind of standing there. We're kind of waiting for the door to open for Dynamite D and Kris Kloss and all you guys to come out, thinking they're going to kick you guys out. The door opens, and it's Big Sal and Kid Cash and Chili Willy, and all these guys come out. And I look at Billy like, oh, we're going to get our ass kicked. That's it. This is it. We're going to get our asses kicked. And so I don't know about Billy. I know Billy didn't freeze, but I froze. I was like, I didn't move. I was kind of like, oh, they're coming at Torres. What are we going to do? Run? And as soon as they came up, just like a gang, they all came up like a gang, ready to kick our fucking ass. Billy, like the Jedi master that he is, he goes, this isn't our fault, guys. You guys did he was doing the hand. You guys did all this. All we did was show our shirts. We didn't do anything. You guys started all this. He kept pointing his finger. You guys started all this. And I swear to God, they kind of looked at each other like, he's got a point. And they all kind of like, all right, you got a point. And I don't know what happened, Billy, but they walked away or something.
Yeah, they walked away.
They walked away. And that's why I always find it so crazy and funny that they go, oh, yeah, you guys got your ass kicked. And the ECW wrestlers say, yeah, we kicked their ass. And I always ask the ring crew guys, or like Alicia and Carnage, they kick your guys' ass? He's like, fuck no, I had my chain. Nobody did nothing to me. So, like, I don't really know where that story came from, but I always find it funny because Billy was like, we're not the ones you're looking for. Like, you know, like, yeah. And they said, okay, they took off. Like, I thought that was it. I thought they were going to.
The only fight that I saw, and I have I remember this distinctly, was Jimmy on the ground just knocking the shit out of somebody like this. And I think it was Chili Willy. I don't know why that just sticks in my mind, Chili Willy.
Yep.
And Jimmy was knocking the shit out of him. And he was just doing this, like boom, 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 like this. That's the only, besides Jimmy and Paul Heyman hitting me upside the head, which again, like Kaos said, like Joey said, I didn't know who it was. I thought it was a drunk old fan. And we get thrown out onto the street. The doors open, the sunlight's coming through, and then I realized, I was like, "Oh crap, that's Paul Heyman," because he had a weak growth, like a stubble. It was all gray. His hair was down. It wasn't in a ponytail. It was down, and I was like, "Oh crap, that's Paul Heyman." And then he was goading Joey and I to. He's like, "Hit me, you pussies, hit me," and he spit at me. I said, "No." And then he spit at Joey, and Joey was ready to friggin' go. And I just put my arm out like this to Joey and was like, Paul, we're not going to hit you. All we wanted to do was show our T-shirts. That's all it was. And he's like, you effing pussies. And then they just went back inside. And that's when Joey and I start walking down. Door flies open. I distinctly remember Kid Cash, Big Sal Graciano, and I don't remember, there was a bunch of other people. And like Joey said, all I said was, dude, all we wanted to do was show our T-shirts. This is on you guys. All we wanted to do was show our T-shirts. And I honestly believe like they were so riled up and ready for anything to pop off, or what they thought, what they deemed to like, oh shit, they're starting something. They were just so wound tight. But then when I was like, dude, we didn't do anything. All we did was show T-shirts. Yeah. They're like, oh, okay, whatever.
I want to touch on that with the shirts thing. Before that, let's go to a clip. My producer here is going to show us a clip of Kevin Kleinrock had an interview commenting about this whole fiasco, and let's go to that clip here.
poor thing. You guys are coming to our town, so we're going to stand up. Look, it was a great business decision by ECW. They came out, they went to the Olympic Auditorium. They packed the place, and it was smart, long overdue. I mean, ECW should have been out on the West Coast years and years before that.
Right.
But the story as it goes now, with millions and millions of views on WWE.com with their spin on the version of it. When we heard this was happening, I turned to Rob and said, we should buy the front row. we should buy the tickets and have our guys go in the front row. And so that's what we did. I went and I stood in line at Ticketmaster in Tower Records on Sepulveda Boulevard. No, not Sepulveda, on Ventura Boulevard. We
Ventura what?
The one at Lorena Plaza in Van Nuys. It's the Lorena Plaza.
Oh, okay.
And now it's a big Oz store. Or it was Oz. Yeah, but it was Tower Records.
I didn't know that. I forgot that, Kevin, that you did that. I thought there was some sort of hookup we got for this.
No, literally. I got up at like 6 a.m. or whatever that day. This is back, before online ticket sales. And you literally had to go stand in line at this outlet. And there was a few people behind me in line. But to be able to get that front row at the first moment, and then we also bought like part of the front row, the balcony section, which is where I went. But so that became a legendary night where WWE spin is that we were there to jump the rail, or that we were there to really do something bad. We were there to get publicity for our show that was coming up. We were there to get noticed. The plan was that we were going to have a row of people wearing XPW shirts, and then we were going to be flyering outside, and there was never an intent to jump the rail. There was never an intent to interrupt the show. It was all publicity stunt, and that's all.
Publicity stunt. That's all it was. Now.
So that was Kevin with my interview with him, and love to get him back on. Of course, this show we're focusing on us that were there ringside, but yes, he was sitting up top and kind of looking down at his soldiers, but no, Kevin was the guy who got the tickets. Everybody thinks there was this, industry hookup, Rob or whatever, but no, it was just a rogue thing. He got the tickets. And that was one of the things too, when you look at the seating chart and you see where the aisleway is and where the ring is, you don't know which side the hard cam is going to be on. So you have a 50-50 guess. And he guessed this side, but it happened to be the same side as hard cam. The idea was we were going to get opposite hard cam. But you talked, Billy, before we went to that clip with Kevin, you talked about the shirts. Now, we didn't go there. Again, we wanted to just make our presence be felt, right? But I think there was this, look, wrestling is so different now. I mean, I was just thinking about this last night leading into the show, just how the ECW locker room came out. They came outside. We came to the show. I mean, can you imagine that in a dressing room today where, hey, a rival company's out here? Like the locker room's just gonna, oh, okay, whatever. Like we cared about this company. It was a ragtag group of guys that were defending this company because this was our spot. This was our chance. This was our opportunity. And it was a different world. Wrestling's so different. So when we got there, our intention wasn't to do any of that. But I think my opinion is, once we were told we had to turn the shirts inside out, that kind of lit a little fire under us. Like, well, we're just here minding our own business. They're going to tell us we can't support, show our logo. WWF is allowed, WCW shirts, all this, whatever else company. We were the only ones. I personally think that was kind of what lit the firestorm. The beginning was, hey guys, right when we walked in, turn your shirts inside out if you're XPW. Joey, you want to?
Well, hang on. I just want to bring up something real quick. I don't know if you remember, we rolled up in a limousine, which is pretty ostentatious and basically like, hey, look at me. So roll up to a limousine. Okay, we roll up in a limousine. We get out, and then I remember Alice security saying, originally they weren't going to let us in, and then it was a case of where your seats. And Patrick Hernandez was like, "Here's my ticket," and his ticket was in the balcony. So they all thought we were in the balcony.
Oh.
And then it was, oh, okay, we can let them in as long as they turn the T-shirts inside out because they're going to be in the balcony. And then it was like, okay, we go in, and then all of a sudden we're all in the front row.
Yeah.
But I distinctly remember Patrick just stepping up and going, oh, here's my ticket, and him showing that he was in the balcony. Because otherwise, they didn't want to let us in at all. Had they known that we were going to be in the front row right off the bat with the T-shirts, I don't even think they would have given us the option to sit there with our T-shirts inside out. But if Patrick hadn't gone and gone, hey, dude, we're up in the balcony, then they're like, okay, yeah, they can come in, they can sit up there with the T-shirts inside out.
Interesting. I never knew that about you and Patrick going in, and that was, Patrick didn't even did he mean to do that to kind of trick them and show them?
I don't know. I think Patrick I think they just asked for a ticket, and maybe it was just Patrick, hey, here you go. That's all.
Okay.
Like Patrick wasn't thinking like that. It was just,
okay,
we got lucky or whatever you want to call it. It was just like, here's my ticket. Because I do remember they asking to see our tickets. And then Patrick was the one who said, here you go. And then his was up in the balcony.
Interesting. I don't remember hearing that. Joey, did you want to say something about that, please?
Yeah, I remember. I think you're right, Chris. Like when they did tell us, hey, you got to flip your shirts inside out. That's when I figured it did light a fire under our ass. But I thought one of the funniest things was when I got to ringside, Lester's sitting there, Supreme sitting there, or walking in with 2 drinks in his hands.
Oh yeah, he was double fisting beers, and he had Christie and like.
and I said, hey,
yeah, I remember fans were buying us drinks when we got there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I also remember Supreme had his shirt right side out, and I said, what did you do? You turned it right side out. He goes, what are you talking about? I go, they made us turn our shirts inside out. He goes, they didn't tell me anything. He's sitting there with 2 drinks.
And you want to know funny? You want to know something? I distinctly remember this, and if I'm wrong, I apologize. But I remember like fans were coming up to us and like, hey, you're so and so. Like, hey, what's up? One of the people that came up to us, and maybe Joey, you might have remember this because XPW always got tapes. Like, hey, look at my tapes because workers wanted to be in XPW. And there was this one tape that XPW got, and it was this one worker. He had dreads. It was a black kid with dreads, and he did a 450, and he almost killed himself doing a 450. I just remember going, oh my God, that kid came up to me at the ECW or at the ECW show and was like, hey, Messiah, I'm so-and-so. I saw, did you get our tape? I'm like, yeah. Do you have any pointers for me? And I remember what I told him. I do, like, hey, you're really talented. That kid was Scorpio Sky.
Wow.
Really?
I distinctly, he had these long dreads.
He did have long dreads. I do remember that.
And we watched it. And it was like, I don't know if it was like a backyard videotape, but like he did like a 450 and overextended and almost like did head first. And I remember you and I, maybe Lester was there. We're watching going, oh, damn. But then he came up to me at that show and we had just happened to watch his video or his tape. Yeah. I've never told that story that it was Scorpio. Yeah, Scorpio Sky came up.
Yeah, I've never heard that before. Yeah, that's crazy. Oh, it's wild.
So back to the brawling part, the fight, the initial fight. I remember when that started, my military part backed into my head, and I walked around the security when they were grabbing Joey and Messiah, and I recall when they were taking you guys up the stairs. I don't know if either one of you heard, but Paul Heyman was screaming, "Hold that guy back! Hold him back!" And that's when he was hitting Billy. And
I got one.
I actually grabbed his arm, and then that's when the security, the guy, the big one with the mullet and the mustache, he punched me right in the face. I sat down, and then I got back up, and I was like, "Don't do that again." He was like, "Don't touch Paul Heyman." I was like, "All right." And then they were closing the doors, and I squeezed out the door, and I turned around, and I was facing Paul Heyman at one point, and he was doing the same thing. He was like, spit on me. And I was like, spit on you? And then he was like, I'll fucking kill you. I was like, go ahead, hit me. We're in California. There's a camera somewhere. And then Chili Willy swung over him and hit me. And I was about to go at him. And Big Tony, I don't know if you guys remember the comic book artist. You have to interview him and ask him what he saw of that. But he grabbed me, put me up against the wall, and he was like, Jimmy, don't do anything stupid. I'm like, dude, I won't. He was like, no, don't do anything stupid. And as I'm talking to him, and he's got me up against the wall, like literally up in the air, my feet are dangling because he was a big boy. And he's got me up against the wall, and I'm like looking across the street, and that's when Big Sal, Balls Mahoney, Jack Victory, and Chili Willy were stomping Dynamite D into the floor, like across the street. Yeah, they're beating the shit out of him, and that's where the whole story was. Oh, we beat them all up. No, they were beating on fucking D. And I said, Tone, let me go, and he let me go, and I fucking ran across the street. As I was running, I saw Big Chili Willy over on this side, on the right-hand side of me, beating on a couple of the street crew, like on kids. So that's when I ran, and I Superman punched his ass. He went against the fucking fence. I laid into him a few times, and then I turned over my attention to D, ran over to him, grabbed him like a sack of potatoes, and threw him behind me. And then that's when I was going at it, and Big Sal was grabbing my hair, yanking my hair out. Jack Victory grabbed one arm. What's his name? Balls Mahoney grabbed the other arm, and they were beating the shit out of me like that. And then when Chili Willy came to, he came from behind and started yanking, like trying to gouge my eye out. So I yanked out my arm from Jack Victory, pulled fucking what's his name in, started punching Balls Mahoney in the face. And then that's when the little security guard came out, and he had mace. And he was like, I'll mace you guys. And they all backed up. And then he's like right in my face going, I'll mace you. And I'm like, hey, dude. I said, fucking, you got 5 of these big guys jumping on little old me. I said, go fucking do your job somewhere else. Right. And that's when Alicia, the little black girl, came up, and she grabs me in a bear hug when I started going back at them. And she was like, no, Jimmy, don't. And I learned also that Sal Graziano kicked her in the face at one point. So, yeah, one of our fans and ring crew girls got her ass beat by fucking Big Sal Graziano. And then I ended up with a little black eye from all that shit, but, you know, that's the extent of getting our ass whooped. But D did his ass beat.
I remember the ring crew kid, Roadkill, we called him Roadkill. His tooth was chipped pretty good. Remember that, Joey?
I think they got it the most out of everybody.
Right. I want to point out, though, Jimmy, also, it needs to be pointed out that when that part was going on, I was coming, I guess, from the side, whatever street that was. I guess, I don't know.
In the limo?
No. I was walking because my car was on a block away, and I was coming out right when you were talking about that moment. The first thing I saw right before D got pummeled, it needs to be clarified. D came out there to be a peacemaker. He tried to break everything up. He tried to keep the peace like he always did, and he got sucker punched. He wasn't gearing up to hit somebody. He was literally like, all right, everybody, it's over with. You go your way out, we'll go ours. We don't need any more violence. And then he got sucker punched, and that's when all that went down. Right. And all I remember, Big Sal, I didn't even see him. He came from behind, ripped my shirt, and pulled me to the ground. And I got back up, and it was him. And I can't remember what ECW guy, but one of the ECW guys told me, dude, you better just get out of here now. You guys better freaking leave, man. And then New Jack came out on his crutches.
Yeah, I saw him over there.
Yeah, and funny story. I carpooled with Guido, right? Our ring announcer, Guido, because we live right near each other. And I see him on the other end of the building, right? I'm waving at him like, you want to fucking ride home? Get over here now, da-da-da. He comes over, and I'm like shocked what just happened. I'm like, we got in the car. He's like, can you believe? I'm like, can you believe it, man? Can you believe what happened? And you know what his answer was? He goes, yeah, I know. Those fans, they knew me from the sports arena. They wanted my autograph. He didn't know what was going on. No joke. That's what he said. So
Come on.
Right.
I swear to God, I couldn't even have a conversation about him with him on the way home. But anyway, no, I remember D did get sucker punched though. He got
Who did was that you, Jimmy, or was it Dynamite D? They said New Jack was punching him, and they said, I didn't know if I should sell these punches because I don't feel anything.
No, it must have been D. I don't remember actually. I heard that too. I don't remember who
You
said
heard that too, right? Yeah, somebody said that.
Yeah, because he wasn't. Yeah, he was on crutches. He wasn't about to get into any shit. You know.
He didn't do anything. He could barely hold the crutches. There's no way he got shots in or anything.
I'm almost certain he was throwing punches at somebody because somebody told me that story. Yeah, they said I didn't know. Like I've
never heard that before.
No,
I remember seeing him. I can't remember who it was. It was one of the ECW guys. He was trying to be cool, like the way Dynamite was trying to be cool. Just like, hey guys, and he told you, dude, just get out of here, man. But then right when that happened, New Jack's coming out with crutches. He could barely walk, man. He was barely holding them to his body. I can't see. His
knee was all jacked up.
Right. Okay, guys. Thank you, guys. This is awesome, by the way. But really quick, let's go to another clip. I'm going to play a clip because we talked about this. Yes, fans do ask us about this to this day. And matter of fact, when I worked with Tommy Dreamer just 3 weeks ago in Alabama, when I got there, the workers, the boys in the back were like, oh my gosh, Kloss, are you guys going to be cool? Like, oh my gosh, like they're still marking out for this stuff, you know? And of course, everything was cool. But so much to the point, people are talking about this at WWE. Did a little piece on this incident 25 years ago. Let's take a look right here from WWE Network and the ECW incident and XPW.
Hey, can you guys still? Sorry, is this too loud? Do you hear like all the background noise?
We're good, but we're gonna watch this clip right here, man.
I hear a bunch of screaming girls. Oh yeah, at the end, Kloss, remind me. I'll send you a picture of when the fight first started. I have another picture from a fan.
Okay, cool. All right, we're right now. We can talk over this, but basically, this was on WWE Network. Everything you see on the screen right here, YouTube channel WWE, and there we are, guys. There you are.
You see Joey. Yeah, you don't see
Joey.
me.
You see Lester right there. And that's when they all kind of stampeded out.
There's Big Sal.
Now we're getting the boot, and I'm shirtless there because Ronnie tried to pull me over. Those guys tried to pull me over the guardrail, and I let them take my shirt off. They wanted any of us to come over because then we're open season. I knew that.
Right.
Well, all those guys they were all like ready at the entrance for something.
And they wanted. I don't know if they tried pull anyone else over. They tried pull me over the guardrail, and I just scared, and I kind of had my shirt, so I just let them take it.
Who thought invading ECW was a smart idea?
Well, of course they're going to have that spin, right? They got their side of the story, and WWE is going to piggyback on their side. But again, going back to the shirt thing, I don't think anything would have happened. I don't think we would have done anything this is my opinion. I don't think anything would have happened if they let us wear our shirts. I really don't think anything would have happened. I think we would have been there. We would have made our presence felt, and that would have been it. I just remember Lester. I remember him. And like you said, Joey, maybe he didn't have his shirt inside out, but I just remember him talking about that. Motherfuckers, they want our shirts inside out. What about everybody else? Like, no, man, this ain't right. This ain't right. They drew first bloods, that kind of thought. And we were all thinking that too. Yeah, you're right. And talk a little bit about this, guys, how different wrestling is now. How much we did want to protect this brand at that time, where the wrestling world was at that time too. I mean, I did. We all wanted to protect it. It meant the world to us at the time.
It definitely did. It did mean the world to us. In hindsight, though,
quiet.
yeah. In hindsight, yeah. Was it the best idea? Probably not. But at the same time, we didn't go with any intentions of doing anything, but just
yeah, it was a fucking great idea. First of all, whatever happened made us more famous than what we were. We're on WWE Network, guys. You know what I mean? Not that it means anything.
It doesn't mean anything.
I know. I know that doesn't mean anything, but still, I mean, you know, it wasn't anything bad that turned out, except for the fact that we were roughed up a little bit. You know what I mean? I mean, what bad came out of it? It was only good.
What do you guys?
It was completely bad.
Yeah,
I completely think it was bad. Nothing good came out of it.
What do you guys?
I mean, that's just my opinion.
Right.
Nothing good came out of it. It just made us look. And again, there's blame put on both sides. Absolutely.
Right.
I'm not saying it was all us at all. Not by any means. We were eager. We wanted to do well. We wanted, dude. It's our company. We're standing up for our company. There's nothing wrong with that. On the same, ECW, they were doing the same thing, but it didn't do anything for us. I mean, it got us a couple more eyeballs, but other than that, it really didn't do anything for us.
I'd say a few thousand eyeballs.
1,000 in comparison to millions. And it put us on this. I just know how it was when I was on the East Coast. People already had this preconceived notion of who I was because I was that XPW guy, and because of you were the guy. Oh, you were one of the guys that did that. Once they got to know me, everything was cool. But they think I'm some disrespectful piece of crap. Right.
Well.
And it was like, no, it wasn't.
I got the same shit from Jeff Jarrett when I did another ICP show in 2015, Juggalo the Gatherings, and Jeff Jarrett was there with his TNA guys, and when he saw me walk into the locker room, he threw a fit. He was like, "What is this motherfucker doing here?" And I was like looking around, and Sabu goes, "Oh, that's just Jimmy." And then I think it was the first show I did a splash from the top. They had their thing on the stage, and I jumped off the top rope like I do onto the table, splash, and he fucking threw a fit and said that if I was on any more of the matches, any more of the show, that he'd pull all his guys off. So I didn't get to work the rest of the 4 days there.
You think that was the XPW ECW thing, or what?
What other reason would it be? Why would he throw a fit about me?
Yeah, I don't know.
That's the only logical thing that I could think of. Is that he knew me from XPW, and that was
when I've always talked to the boys like Danny Doring or even New Jack, they've always been real cool. They never had no animosity towards us. I think Danny Doring.
Yeah, it was never. What's funny is it was never the ECW guys. Sorry, Joe. It was never the ECW guys. It was like the workers, like other indie workers kind of thing. That's what it was. Never the ECW guys.
No, cool. I met up with Balls Mahoney and asked him if everything was okay at a show, and he was like, "Yeah,
he didn't care." Yeah, he didn't care.
Yeah, I think
the only two that I haven't talked to is Jack Victory and Sal Graziano or Bill Chili Willie, but yeah.
When I look back at this now, and going back to like the passion that those guys had, the passion that we had, do we see this today in wrestling anymore, or was that like the end of that era of wrestling being this again, this ragtag group, instead of just kind of this big corporate, I don't know, conglomerate entity that, you know, it's not the little guy doing things to keep his spot, his job. Like, I feel like that was that event kind of represented the end of that era of that old school mentality of how a wrestler would act or be in terms of let's protect our brand and all that, where it's now, I just don't see that happening today anymore, whether it's our side or ECW side. It's just that whole event and how all of us were on each side. It's almost kind of a beautiful thing to look back at the passion we had, and that I just don't see that anymore. Good or bad, you talk about the event, whose fault, whatever. I'm just talking about the concept of look at all of us, man. Look at what we did. Look at what wrestling kind of was at that time.
All I can say, like, I never took any pride in what we did.
No, I'm not saying that.
I don't. Yeah, I mean, I understand that, and
we didn't do anything, so what was the pride to take in anything? And
Joey, again, I don't know if Joey remembers. We showed up in a limo, but then we left was it you, Joey? Was it your car? We left in a car.
Yeah, it was my car. So I never showed up in the limo, but yeah.
Okay, yeah. Okay. Then I left with you.
Limo. I left in the limo though.
Yeah, I left with you, and we went to Rob's house. And as soon as we got there, but on the way there, I just remember, you know, we had the adrenaline flowing, and I was just quiet, and Joey was like, "What's wrong?" And I was like, "Dude, this was wrong," and not wrong from like our stand, just the whole thing was wrong. Everything that happened, them coming out, jumping on us, like the whole thing was wrong. And then when we get to Rob's house, it's like we just completed like a good mafia hit or something. Like, open the door, here's Lizzie, screaming and giving us hugs. We go out there, and Rob's all ecstatic that we did this, and then Rob gets on the phone again. I don't know if he actually called Paul Heyman, but then he gets on the phone and he leaves Paul Heyman. And he's doing it all in front of us, going, "Hey, Paul, you jumped some of my guys," like just how Rob was being boisterous and everything. Which again, nothing wrong with that. But I just remember going, how does this make us look good in any light? It doesn't. It makes us look like we're naive. The only good thing that come out of it is we have passion, because I always heard not then, but now hearing stories about like how Randy Savage's Angelo Poffo started a rival, promotion to go against Jerry Jarrett and Jerry Lawler and all this stuff. And, those outlaw promotions and stuff like that. It was very reminiscent of that. Right. And
territories, the way it used to be.
Yeah, but it came but there was always something positive that kind of came out of it in some aspect, I guess. And I just always felt like we were kind of used. And again, I know that this sounds like sour grapes. I apologize, but we were kind of used by Rob because he had an issue with Paul that none of us knew about at that point.
Right.
None of us knew that.
I knew about it. I heard all about it.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know.
Rob was trying to, cuddle up with Paul. Paul wasn't having it. He didn't want to hear his bullshit and kicked him to the curb. And that's where we started. That's why he came out to California to D.
And then it was just like, Leah, let me send my guys there, when I always thought Rob and Lizzie were going to be there. Mm-hmm. And it was us taking the shrapnel, the bullets, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
When he's the one that was the general, and he's going, march. And a good general stays with his troops. And he didn't do that for us.
That's true.
Yeah, captain goes down with the ship, but the captain was not in the captain's seat. No.
And I've always kind of resented that a little bit.
He took one of the lifeboats.
Yeah, and he had joy that we did it and we accomplished whatever it was that we did. But he wasn't there. He wasn't there with us in the trenches when we did it.
he
And
wasn't
I'm sorry if
even-
it comes off like I'm crapping on Rob. I'm not trying to crap on Rob. It's
No, right.
I have no vendetta. Like it just the way my mind works. Like, dude, you go with the troops. You know.
100%. It always does cross my mind, you know, because Tommy Dreamer was hiring a lot of the extras, you know.
Yeah.
Some years after, Paul Heyman is a major part of WWE, and it always made me think, like, yeah, I think we fucked it up because that's why we kind of never seen the light of day. You know what I mean?
Right.
As
We never got anywhere because of that. Yeah, that's the only bad thing that came out of it.
I mean, I kind of really believe that. I mean, obviously, when I talk to any of all the boys, they're always so cool, you know. But it always is in the back of my mind about that because, like, Tommy,
of course,
and we're all like kind of running all the hiring at WWE during, like, you know, for a few years after. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
So.
Yeah.
So I definitely do see it as
which one of you tried knocking on the doors? Which one of you guys tried going to WWE?
That was Joey.
Did you try?
I mean,
you were.
Yeah, I mean, but it's like everything else about, like, they don't
Joey
care
was doing
about
extra
you.
work. Yeah, he was doing good.
And it does make me think, like, hey, when you got to go shake Tommy Dreamer's hand, he's like, oh, this guy knows. I know he knows. I know he remembers. He's not going to say anything right now.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know.
And
So
I've never had the opportunity to speak to Tommy or to Paul. I have spoken to Justin Credible. Again, I don't remember if he ever remembers talking to me. He was kind of loaded when I was talking to him. It was at a CZW show. But I was supposed to do a show with Tommy for the Mex Pro for Mike's promotion.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when Mike decided to no longer do the promotion. But I've always wanted to apologize, whether or not they did it. Honestly, at this point, they don't even think about it. They don't care.
No.
It is what it is. What happened, happened. But I just know for, like, my own soul, for, you know, just make amends. Like, hey, dude, I'm sorry. That should have never happened.
Yeah.
And that was never our intention. I'm sorry it escalated to that point.
Right.
Because that was never what we were trying to do. Because when it comes down to it, point blank, we stood up right when Tommy and Justin were about to start their match.
Yeah.
That is disrespectful. I don't care how you slice it. That was disrespectful.
You know, again, we went in there, we were sent in, man. They sent us in, and there was no game plan, right? Maybe we did get a little upset with the shirt thing. Okay, fine. Dude, we had no game plan, and we were trying our hardest. It's like, well, if we're gonna do something
to get noticed, yeah.
You
would hope, honestly.
We had them walking up and flipping us off in the beginning of the show. I mean, they're already ready for us to be there.
That's
and
right.
I would hope that there, you know, there's two sides of the coin. You know, this can come off as being disrespectful, but also it's like, dude, these guys got some gumption. Like, these guys got some ball. Like, they're trying to be noticed.
Yeah.
I remember
and I can
the
respect
conversation. The conversation was we didn't want to do anything during the match, so we definitely did it on the standoff. We did.
Yeah.
That's part of the match. I get it.
I remember the only time we actually stood up and gave a standing ovation to Rob Van Dam when he did his fucking first time coast to coast.
Yeah.
We jumped up for that one. We all did. You know what I mean? And he showed up to XPW a few times to buy weed from me. So, I mean, it was a mutual respect deal.
Well, also,
I remember Joey and I were sitting next to, and he did the coast to, or he did whatever, and he just looked at Joey and I, and he pointed, you know, he did his thumb thing, and just like he mouthed, "I know you're, I know you guys are impressed." And Joey and I just shook our heads up and down, going, "Yep."
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes, we are.
I was gonna say he came around to us. He was like one of the boys during his match that came around to us and kind of like, hey, what's up? You know, no animosity. But I was gonna go back to, like you said, Joey. We didn't have a game plan, but when we knew we were okay, we're gonna do something. We tried our hardest to do it at a point, like you said, it as the best, the least of all evils of a spot we could do it at. of that won't interrupt anybody's match. We don't want to disrespect anybody. Let's do it at an in-between time where we know the camera's going to be on the arena, but the match hadn't started yet, and that's where it unfolded right there. Sorry, when we stood up, when we did everything, when we tried to get noticed, Christy stood up and all that. We tried to do it in the best possible spot we could. That wasn't taking away from the boys in the ring. This was a message, and again, we were put out there by our general. This was an XPW office thing, really, versus an ECW office thing. And just like every war fought in the world, it's the people that fight the government's battles, right? The politicians that can't get along. And that's basically what it was for all us XPW guys and the ECW guys that came out. This was really the genesis. It came from the genesis of Rob and Paul. And then it dominoed into us battling, which is what the world does. Again, constantly with wars, and that was a small example. We did that.
Yeah, we were just pawns in it,
right?
You know, it's and ironically, and what's funny is, you know, once ECW closed, a lot of those guys came to XPW and worked, or ran into a lot of those guys just working indies, and everything was cool, and it was, oh, dude, you were that guy? Oh yeah, hey, what's up, man? There was no animosity after it or anything like that whatsoever. Yeah.
Well, look, I know, Joey, you did some dark matches and all that. I became pretty good friends with Joey Styles, and I reached out to him right after WSX was done, about a year after, and I was like, you know what? Let me give this a shot. He got me in there, had 2 tryouts. It came down to, there was 11 of us, and it came down to me and one other guy, and I got the call. He said, I had to tell you, but your height hurts you. If you're an announcer, you got to be shorter, right? Blah, blah, blah.
You can't be bigger than the boys.
Right. Yeah. And then I would kneel down sometimes, right? When I interviewed you guys, but so I'm 6'3", but anyway, he said, really, that's not it. They do this a lot. They'll have tryouts, but then they end up staying with the status quo, which was Michael Cole, Jerry Lawler. So Smiley's there, Ryan Katz. I never got anything really years later of, you know, oh, you were those guys. At a certain time, it felt forgotten. If there was any animosity, it felt forgotten to me. And maybe there's 1 or 2 guys in there that maybe you still remember, but I never saw it. And I just worked with Tommy Dreamer. I didn't see it at all. But definitely back then there was. And let me go back to that last question. And I don't want to ask you guys about the actual card. We were very distracted, but do you guys see what I'm saying as far as, like you said, it was kind of a reminiscent of Angelo Poffo. You said that, Billy.
Yeah.
And how it was that old school. And I think in many ways, the XPW, that era was kind of like at the end, we were riding the last of that old school wave of pro wrestling where kayfabe was kind of still alive, paying your dues, all this kind of underground stuff that wasn't regulated, let's say. And we were kind of at the end of that wave, you know, and I think that event, good or bad, XPW or ECW, it was an example of that grittiness that pro wrestling was, and that mom and pop kind of operation that the wrestling world was, as opposed to now it's a big corporate conglomerate kind of thing. That I don't think you're going to see anything like that, good or bad. I don't think you're going to see anything like that again. And I don't know if you guys want to weigh in on that.
I mean, I think you'll definitely see something like that again in wrestling. It kind of just cycles over and over because I feel like territories are coming back in some sort of sense, at least on the indies in a way. That's just my take on it.
Yeah, where it really doesn't belong in the indies.
Yeah. But I think somebody's what's old is always new again, especially in wrestling. And I think someone's going to be like, I think I see like, kind of like, I don't see like, I don't know, like right here in SoCal, Kloss, like a lot of wrestlers kind of stay at their company. They don't go float around anymore. There's definitely wrestlers that do that, but there's a good group of a lot of wrestlers that stay in their company or territory in a sense. And I feel that with that happening, people will start coming territorial again and maybe start invading some shows. I don't know about on that level, because all eyes were on ECW at that time. You know, I mean, I was a huge ECW mark. That's what everyone always thinks. Like, they think I hated ECW. And it's like, no, man. I love ECW.
No, I love ECW.
Yeah. But I
exactly.
think they think we hate it.
You know,
we wanted to be it. We wanted to be part of it.
Right. The whole thing about territories and shit, it all comes from the promoters, really. I mean, us workers just want to work, and it comes down to a promoter going, oh, if you work for me, you can't work for them. And then that's where it all starts becoming, you know, an issue, you know? And it's
indie wrestling politic BS,
Yeah, that's all it is.
I remember,
and like you said, we're the peons, we're the little pawns that they move around and like chess piece, Rob's and you know, Paul Heyman's. If they have a good company, they got good soldiers, and that's what happens. But
I remember
I don't really see anything like what we did happen again. No, that's my opinion.
Do you think wrestling now is it's just at a place where, and I get what you're saying, Joey, too, about it's definitely cyclical, right? Things go out, things come back, and that's the wrestling's always been like that. Do you think that's changed now that it's being too careful with you know, like TKO now owning WWE? Are there things that they're just impossible to happen again? Or do you think, like you're saying, Joey, that maybe they don't want it to happen, but when it does, they're going to see that it's going to be a success, you know, because eyeballs are going to be back on it? Or do you think it can't happen? Like it's going to be too careful?
Yeah, I mean, I think like a lot of the wrestlers, you know, like they got the AEW, WWE war, but the wrestlers don't care about that. They just care about each other and where, you know, as long as they got a job. So, I mean, I don't know if it'll actually kind of go down like that again, but I definitely do see some kind of territorial. And I think it won't be exactly like back in the 60s or 70s, but it's going to be something, you know, to that effect. You'll start seeing, just like Jimmy said, you'll start seeing bookers not booking certain talents, and I think it's always been like that. But I think even furthermore, you know, there's just so much wrestling now. I got to be honest with you, it's hard to keep up. I don't know about you guys. It's I try to watch it, but it's tough. It's kind of
shit. I don't watch anything anymore except for midget wrestling.
That's a lot of wrestling, then, right? Yeah,
every day, man. Fucking 4 to 6 days a week.
Let me ask you guys. I mean, again, we had our own agenda that day 25 years ago. Can't believe 25, but we had our own agenda that day. Can you talk a little bit about RVD kind of nodding back and forth, a little respectful? Any memorable matches or moments as a fan for you guys? At that event that day, we were ringside. We had a great seat.
I totally remember Jerry Lynn versus Steve Corino, and Jerry Lynn taking the blood and writing, I think, "die" on his own chest. I always thought that was like the sleeper match of the night. I think we were looking forward to was Rob Van Dam and Scotty Riggs. I think we thought that was going to be a good match, but man, that sleeper match was that Jerry Lynn for me.
Yeah.
I saw the card that George posted, and I was like, I didn't even know Psychosis was on the card.
I don't remember that either.
No, I don't remember.
No, I think that was definitely the best match, and that was a cool little spot right there. But
it could have been Tommy Dreamer, Just Incredible, because we got kicked out, so we don't know. We don't know.
I remember watching them walk by with the stupid little string of barbed wire. It was supposed to be a barbed wire hanging from the roof, you know, a ladder match. And I'm looking, I'm like, that's it? That's all the barbed wire they're going to use? That's what I was thinking. I'm like, what the fuck? But I don't remember, honestly, I don't remember any of the matches, but I don't even remember any of my matches. So, I mean, that doesn't make any.
Yeah. Do you think that there was because there was some fanfare? Obviously, look at this. It's on WWE Network, so people are interested, right? For what it's worth. At the time, people want to know: was there ever? This is a question coming in. Was there ever any possibility of an ECW versus XPW feud with crossovers, or was there too much bad blood?
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope. Nope.
Right.
That was never going to happen. We weren't. No. Yeah, we weren't on the radar for that. we weren't. As
ECW, XPW guys in ECW. Is that the question?
They just wanted
a feud. If there's going to be a feud, there was never going to be a feud.
It could have worked, just because, like Jimmy does say, like, hey, after this thing happened, we were all over the websites in Japan. We were all over the wrestling websites
everywhere.
out here.
Everywhere.
I mean, if it was going to happen, that's when it had to happen. That's when it had some legs.
And I know, Billy, you've been around, but I've been from coast to coast, wrestled for all kinds of places, Texas, Florida. I mean, I've been everywhere now, too, not under the radar, just small indie places that people pick me up and could afford to give me what I asked for. But everywhere I've gone, people have asked me about it, and wanted to know about it. So, I mean, did we do anything bad? No. Did we go there with intentions of anything bad? No, not us. You know what I mean? Maybe Rob was hopeful, but I didn't get any instructions, and you guys say the same. So, I mean, I don't see anything that came out of it bad. Again, the fact that the fight happened, yeah, that's bad, but shit, we're all alive. Mm-hmm. Nobody got killed or hurt bad. You know what I mean? And it was an experience. Everything in my life, all experiences, whether bad or good, is a good experience because it's a chapter of my book. I look back on it and I could tell people about it. I could tell people, hey, I was part of that fucking history. It's a part of history. It's a wrestling history, bro.
Yeah.
Whether good or bad, if you want to look at it the way you want, that's it. I think it was. It didn't make me, but it didn't break me either. And everywhere I go, I stand with pride that I was one of the ones that was there. You know what I mean? I stood up for, like Kloss keeps saying, we stood up for our company. That's what we were doing for us. Not so much Rob. We were trying to make XPW. It wasn't the Rob Black show.
That's true.
It was us. We made fucking XPW. We brought deathmatch wrestling to California. There was no deathmatch wrestling before us. And not only that, I got people saying, dude, you guys were way better than ECW. So I mean, in hindsight,
to that point, Jimmy, I mean, I don't know about, Jimmy or you, Billy, but for me personally, there's never been another locker room that I've been in that's been so dedicated to the team, like he's saying, whether it's Rob Black or not. I mean, I don't know how CZW was for you, Billy, or the Juggalos for you, Jimmy, but for me, I had never been in a locker room where everybody, like, I remember we used to pass out flyers, man. We used to be down to pass out flyers, because we were like, we don't want to wrestle in front of nobody. Right. So I do feel, no company.
And a lot of us hung out together. You guys were a clique, you two and D and Supreme. You guys hung out more often than I think any independent wrestling guys do today. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't hear about big parties and hangouts and people living with. I lived with D and Jake. You know what I mean? Yeah. We were all a family one way or the other. Some of us didn't like each other. That's the way it is. But
like
others,
Jimmy, those were some good times going to D's house and watching going to your house and watching the XPW TV. Those are some of my fondest memories. Yeah.
Right.
100%.
I mean, think about what we were protecting too. We all worked to get to this point. We all paid our dues, like you said. We're spending whole weekends passing flyers out, whatever, and then we get on television, right? So now we're on TV, and now we know, okay, this is a pretty good opportunity, right? And so I think this storm with this Heatwave event came right at a time too, where we were not just protecting our company, our brand, our identity, but we didn't want anyone to come in and sabotage, especially what we just got started. We just got to remember how big of a deal this was for us to be on weekly national television. And so this was definitely a thing worth protecting at that time. And not everybody could get on TV back then. There was no internet, there was no YouTube, there was no streaming. If you get on television, people go home and they watch TV. They didn't have YouTube. So we're one of few shows that are on television every week. We definitely.
Well, dude, Kloss, like you seem to forget as well. XPW had their DVDs in Best Buy and Sam Goody before ECW did.
FYE or whatever. Yeah, FYE also.
But my point being is that we had DVD distribution before ECW ever did with Pioneer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to say we had DVD distribution before WWE.
The first wrestling DVD, it's debated now. It's either ours, Baptized in Blood, or it's one of their one-off pay-per-views when DVDs first came out. But I seem to remember hearing that ours was the first. Either way, they're right neck and neck because, again, the machine, we had the big Rob's company with already the artwork, the DVDs, the VHSs was just ready to go. We just inserted XPW into that machine that was already a ton of advantages we had for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I want to bring up a fond memory of mine that I tell people about all the time too, is the three of us were actually part of the first gathering of the Juggalos, weren't we? 2000, wasn't it?
It wasn't the first one, but we were part of it. Yeah, we were part of one of them. Yeah.
It was, what was it?
It was like a second,
2001.
2001. I think it was 2001.
Okay, so we were at the second gathering.
Yeah, in Ohio.
I remember that being part of my, realizing that people actually starting to know who we are. You know what I mean? That was our big point when we were brought in into another company and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And
well, do you guys remember? Do you remember the kids that were on the same floor as us? Because it was right after the ECW Heatwave thing happened. They were like ding dong dishing our door, and then by the end, and they were like, you guys suck, kind of thing. And then by the end of the weekend, they left a note on our door saying that, hey, we appreciate you guys, Juggalo love, and you XPW guys are actually really good guys, kind of thing.
No, I didn't see the note.
Yeah.
No,
but I do remember.
They left a note. Yeah.
Now I want to remember me and Kaos got invited up to the
oh my gosh,
the suite. We get invited to the suite it was ICP, Twisted, Bone Thugs and Harmony, Vanilla Ice, and Gorgeous George, which was Gorgeous George was Macho Man's ex-girlfriend, which, by the way, I'm good friends with her and I talk to her quite a bit on the internet. Cool. But
nice.
Here we were. We're sitting there smoking out with ICP and Twisted and Bone Thugs and Harmony, and me and Joey are like having the best time of our lives watching Vanilla Ice with Gorgeous George on the bed going, ice, ice, baby, smacking her ass, humping her from behind, and we're like, dude, where is fucking Joey, right? And we were like, yeah, where is he? And we run downstairs to go get Billy, sorry. We run downstairs and we go get Billy. And it's like, we knock on the door and he's like, dude, I'm talking to this one chick. And we're like, dude, there's a party upstairs. And he was like, oh, all right.
Dude, I don't remember any of this.
We'll cut out the talking to a chick. I know nothing happened before.
That's fine. Yeah, that's fine. I honestly do not remember any of this.
Lady, there's a lady trying to bug me over here, and let's show this lady. I'm on a podcast. Go away. I don't want any help. Let's suck somebody else's dick. God damn it. Anyways, I know, right? I'm just saying, go away.
Come on, Jimmy.
Yeah. Come on. Go back to the story, man. Hey, she's knocking on my door, wanting me to probably want something from me.
Homeless Jimmy.
Laugh with me, right?
Oh my
God. So we go downstairs and we drag Billy back upstairs. Right. By the time we got up there, because it was so crowded, the elevators were constantly packed. Right. We get up there, we knock on the door. We're like, where's the music? We're like knocking on the door again. The door opens, and there was only a few people left in there that were just like maybe fans. I don't even know who they were, but it was like a fucking tea party there instead of a rap party with blunts and everything. And Joey looks at us, or Billy looks at us and goes, "Is this what you brought me up here for?" We're like, oh, fuck.
It's a true story. That's a true story.
It is.
I remember.
Billy don't remember, but I remember that.
I remember it.
Really?
And then last memory from that, because this is so much better of a memory than any of the ECW bullshit. Me and Joey are walking outside, right?
Yes.
We're walking outside, having a great time after that party. We're like, dude, could you imagine just topping this? And we hear this. We watch this guy walk out of a bar backwards, like stumbling backwards. A car goes, boom, smashes into this guy. He goes flying in the air, hits the hood, rolls on the floor, gets back up, wipes himself off, and says, "Oh, I'm sorry." And we're like, both of us are looking at each other like, did we just fucking witness that? Did we just see this? I can't believe that. It was just, yeah. Guys, I haven't had any I don't know how to say, feeling like I did with the family of XPW.
Yeah.
I don't
Joey,
care.
I
Like
remember-
I said, I was never part of the clique, but I always felt like I was always part of the show. I was always
Right.
part of the group. And you know,
Well,
I love
what
you guys
I remember
for that.
what I remember from gathering was when we got there, we just walked around the city of Toledo and it started
Right.
getting dark. And I look at Joey and go, "Hey, lightning bugs are coming out." And Joey goes, "Lightning bugs?" And I was like, "Yeah, lightning bugs." He goes, "What are lightning bugs?" I'm like, bugs, they light up. He goes, "You mean from like the Pirates of the Caribbean ride?" I was like, "Yeah." And he looks at me and goes, "Those aren't real." I was like, "No, there's lightning bugs out here, dude." And then he sees lightning bugs for the first time. And he's like,
we started
"What the
running
hell?"
around trying to get them, remember?
Yeah.
We started running around.
The best was Billy goes, "Watch this." He grabs one, smears it on his arm, and his arm is glowing.
Yeah. That's growing up in Michigan, bro. That's how you do it in Michigan. Yeah.
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 I remember we had such a great time, and we called Supreme, and he had just did that fire
Oh
spot.
yeah, he was pissed.
And we
He's
were
like, "Yeah,
so
way to make
like,
me feel bad." Yeah.
yeah, oh my gosh. He's sitting there saying, "I'm getting scraped right now for the 5th time today." And you guys are like saying, "We're having such a great time."
Yeah. Because he was supposed to go. He was supposed to go
Right.
on the trip. Yeah.
Were you guys all went to Japan too, right? Or all of you guys, or some of you? When
No.
Yeah, it was just Jimmy. It was just Jimmy and Supreme.
and
Yeah.
Jimmy Supreme and
Pogo.
Pogo?
Yeah.
Well, Pogo went after I told him I couldn't go back because my mom
Okay.
got sick.
Well,
And
I was
again,
supposed to go
Chrissy went
back,
too.
and so, huh?
Chrissy went
What's
too.
okay.
Oh yeah. That's when I could have kicked myself in the ass because we're driving back from the airport. They sent me and Christy back, and then they were going to send Pogo by himself. So I'm driving back with I think it was a rent-a-car, or it was that car that Rob gave me to drive everybody around. But we're driving back, and I said something about, man, I forgot what I said. Something to Christy about not asking about the Mile High Club, and she smacks me on the shoulder. She goes, "Jimmy, you should have asked." I'm like, "Oh God."
Well, I mean, there just a show right there. I mean, and you know what, Joey? You and I, we recently saw each other. I mean, we're reconnecting now, thanks to you and Santino Brothers. But before that, we saw each other at the Pinky Santino had a get together event, and we hadn't seen each other for a while, you and I. And again, we just naturally started reminiscing, man, about those days were great. They were the best. It's hard to compare the camaraderie we all had, and we were one big team. We wanted each other to do good, so we would do good, and it was something special, man. It really was. And again, I think, good or bad, a lot of that on Heatwave, the passion was there because it was so great. Whether it ended up good or bad on whoever's side, it just to me it just shows like, man, look how important that is to these guys. You know, whether they're fighting for the general and they're the soldiers, either way, look at that. I mean, it was
No, XPW without a doubt was one of the best locker rooms I was ever in. And what's funny is it wasn't until the ECW guys came in, like Axel Rotten, who then would, you know, make a dressing room for themselves, saying, you know, and put something on the door saying, you know, guys who've been screwed over by Paul Heyman. That's it. So like it was Sabu and Axel and all, like they all go, we're in our own locker room kind of thing. And we were never that way.
right.
And I distinctly remember someone like Shane Douglas appreciating that.
Yeah.
And like he wanted to change with us.
Yeah.
He didn't want his own dressing room or anything like that.
I think Terry Funk was like that too. The few times we had him in there, I feel like he really wanted at least to help this company. I didn't feel like he was just there for a paycheck. He was like, "Oh, this is cool. This is interesting. Whoa, let's do this," you know, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Tracy
Terry
Smothers.
Funk was a very giving person anyways.
Yeah.
He was a very nice and kind person.
Totally. The late great, man. The late great.
Yeah.
Hey, really quick, guys. We're going to wrap up in a little bit, but before that, we're going to play the Heatwave clip and we can talk over it. So, producer, if you could play that clip real quick. And if anyone is listening to audio only, you can cue us at 2:21:00. Here we go.
Man, Tommy looked all young, didn't he?
Yeah. He looks pretty good still. Look at that, the Grand Olympic Auditorium, guys. We're very familiar with that venue.
Yeah, packed house.
Yeah.
You know, that was two things I remember that was an issue. Was that, for one, Paul Heyman always said, fuck the West Coast, we'll never go out there. And that was even before us. I remember watching ECW and he would say that, you know,
Right.
Speaking of Gorgeous George, look at her.
Mm-hmm. There's that barbed wire, Jimmy, you're talking about above the ring.
Yeah, the big strand.
Yep.
I don't even remember. Is that Jazz and Gorgeous? I don't even remember them being part of the match.
Neither do I.
No.
No.
I don't remember. I remember.
Sure.
I remember Francine because she's in the picture that I have. You could see the top of her head, and then Christie's shirt is torn off at that point.
Yeah, I don't remember them two coming down either. Again, we didn't have any game plan going into this. We were just like, well, if we're going to do something, let's just make sure we do it at a time where we're on, but we're not taking away from anyone's heat.
Well, dude, all I remember is I was sitting there, and I don't know if it was Joey or if it was Kloss that was like, when Christy stands up, we show her T-shirts, and I was like, what? And then it was just boom, it happened.
Yeah.
It was that quick.
So
Yeah.
Christy said that?
No,
You said Christy said that?
No,
No.
Christy, once she stood up, it's like, all right, guys, we're going to turn our shirts right side
When
in.
she stands up.
Yeah, and she reveals her bikini top. But again, look at this. Kevin, again, no fault on Kevin, but it was a 50-50 pick when he was a ticket master because you could see on the map where the aisleway, but you don't know what side the camera's on. So he picked the wrong side of the flip of the coin. Because if we were right there, look at that opposite hard cam. I mean, this would have been a even bigger deal than it is, I think.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, because they managed to cut a lot of the shit out, so you couldn't see us.
And they would not have been able to do that had we been opposite hard cam.
For some reason, I distinctly remember, I don't remember who told me this. They were instructed not to even come over to our side. That's why when Van Dam did it,
because they came over there and flipped us off. I remember a couple of them. I can't.
I don't remember seeing that at all. I just remember. I don't remember who told me, but it was we were told not to even go near you guys.
I remember that too, Billy, and I think that's why we're like, oh, RBD, that's cool. Now watch Tommy once Tommy, there's the ref. Check it out. Now he sees us. Now the shit's hitting the fan. They're trying so hard to keep the camera, but the crowd.
Yeah, Justin. Look at it. Justin Credible wants to look. He wants to turn around so bad. Tommy's watching the whole time. He ain't even paying attention to.
And now he's
Justin
like,
Credible.
all right, screw this.
And I know Tommy said something to Lester.
There's chaos
Like,
again.
You just,
Look at
screwed
that.
your.
Look at the fans putting the X up too. There were some fans there.
No, that was Joey.
No. There were multiple. The guy in the Laker, the guy in the Laker jersey was doing it.
Yeah, look, there's a few people out there.
Okay, now look at the guys coming out right there. All right, there it goes, man.
I could see you without your shirt being taken away.
That was it. They when the camera was in the ring, that's when they tried pulling me over. I was like, oh fuck, I know what you guys are trying to do. Hell no.
Hey, you're right, Billy. Tommy Dreamer did tell Supreme that.
There's Doc Marley. There's Doc Marley on the left, the guy with the dreads. He's basically the one that ratted us out. He had a job with XPW, but they got rid of him. So I think there was some sour grapes there, of course, and he along with Jasmine.
Yeah, because I remember like Lester mentioning like Tommy was like, "You just ruined your career," and Lester was like, "What are you talking about?" Lester was like, "What are you talking about?"
Oh, Lester was ready to go too, man. He did not care how many of those guys came out. There's the Doc Marley guy on the left, the dread dude. And I guess he thought he was going to get a job with ECW. That never happened.
Yeah. No. We're going to use
doing what?
I don't know. But now check this out. There were, if you rewind it, Billy, you will see there was about 4 or 5 guys behind us doing that X sign. There were some XPW fans there. Remember
there was, yeah.
1 week from 6 days later.
We did Go Funk Yourself.
Yeah, 6 days later. Now, someone wrote in, how would that have played out had Go Funk Yourself been the Saturday night before Heatwave, a very extreme LA weekend? That's kind of interesting.
We might not have gone there.
Maybe there would have been like a WrestleMania weekend. Maybe there would have been fans that came into town. Who knows? I don't know. I never thought of that before. If we instead of 6 days later, Saturday, because that was on a Sunday, if we were the Saturday before Heatwave and Sunday came on, I never thought of that before. But I don't know. You think a lot of people came in from out of town to go to Heatwave? Probably.
Yeah, I think so for sure.
At least came in from, like, let's say the West Coast, Arizona, Oregon, Washington. Yeah. I mean, we didn't really think of those things back then. Like now on Mania weekend, all these shows that coincide, it's just different mindset now.
The only thing that came out of that Heatwave thing is that I don't remember the guy's name, unfortunately. He was writing a book, and when everything happened, he contacted XPW and spoke to Kevin. The book was called Slap Happy. And I know we were in the book. I don't think I came off very well in the book, if I remember correctly. But he interviewed a bunch of like indie promotions and things like that, like CZW. And in fact, the cover of the book was Z-Bar doing a top rope leg drop to, I believe it was Nick Burke. Because I ran into the author when I was in CZW.
There we go.
Yeah, Slap Happy. Yeah, that's. I remember that's how he found out about us, was because he was watching Heatwave, and he's like, "Who are these guys that are this other promotion?"
Right.
As far as getting like heat or anything off of it, that's the only thing I remember. Like we kind of got out of it because he definitely wanted to talk to XPW to all of us about what happened.
I mean, Go Funk Yourself was definitely at the time our biggest show to date, because
and again it lit a fire under our ass. I will say that, because we were like, we need to perform.
Yeah,
I distinctly remember that.
And it was definitely the biggest match as far as guys coming in, established guys. I mean, Terry Funk versus Sabu at that time. Sabu was still the guy, and Terry Funk, like, that was a huge deal. It was just as prominent of a main event.
Do you remember, Kloss, do you remember what it was supposed to be? I remember Rob saying what the original main event was supposed to happen. It's supposed to be the Dudley Boys. It was supposed to be called Silent Night, Dudley Night. Was supposed to be the show name.
That's right. That's right. But that,
I mean, I think it was better off with Terry and Sabu. But I remember, like he originally wanted like Bubba and Devon coming in and doing something with us.
Right. And they, I mean, those guys would hang out at Bubba would be at the office.
It was just Bubba. Yeah, Devon wanted nothing to do with coming to the office at all. It was all Bubba. It was all Bubba. Yeah.
No, but I mean, talking about the fans there. Yeah, dude, we did get some chance getting in, but we didn't. Again, we really were respectful. Like even what the people would chant XPW, most of the ECW fans, of course, in there, but the XPW fans, we didn't like egg them on or like, okay, thanks, just watch the show. We're not here for that, you know?
Yeah, I remember fans coming up to me and I told them, no, wait until the intermission to sign autographs.
Right.
You know, we're not here to, you know, interfere.
So think about where we were. Yeah, there were XPW fans there because look at TV was already going and we were 6 days away from our biggest show to date. Terry Funk versus Sabu and everything else. You, Billy versus Supreme in one of the great death matches. Now, was that the one, Jimmy, where you came off where the second loge of the sports arena, right? Into the tables? And then you, Joey, were in the loser leaves town match, right? With Tracy Smothers?
Yeah, I was in two matches,
right.
I think. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Tracy Smothers and Rosano, maybe.
Okay, yeah. So, I mean, we're going into that show. We're promoting it heavily on television. So there was a buzz, man, of this, like, what's going on here at the Grand Olympic at Heatwave? Like, what the hell is this? I mean, but the signs were banned also from the fans. They couldn't bring any signage that said XPW. A few of them did get snuck in, but everybody got banned. Not just us, but any fan that was wearing an XPW shirt, they all had to turn them inside out and they had to throw their signs away before they came in. So
the problem that we had with the Heatwave thing happened, and the following week we did Go Funk Yourself, which is a monumental show for us.
Right.
And we got really good buzz off of that, I do feel. But then when was the next show we had after that?
Yeah.
6 months later.
Yeah. And that was
we lost any momentum, anything, any heat, whatever you want to call it. We lost it.
I know. It was so bad. And not only that, we lost the LA Sports Arena, which was so stupid to lose a venue. So fortunate to be in the sports arena.
I don't know if you remember this. Was Go Funk Yourself where Joey, or not Joey, sorry, with Jimmy and Cronus went everywhere?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you remember the security guard, the fat security guard throwing a hissy fit in the backstage going, the show is over, it's done. What are you guys doing? Like he wanted to close everything down right then and there.
I remember.
Yeah.
And not only that,
I remember Lazy was coming up to him going, hey, calm down. Like, cause that dude was so pissed. I distinctly remember that.
Well, it's Lazy was kind of the liaison, the hookup for us to get the sports arena. Or no, he was the Hollywood Palace. But I remember also, do you remember that big African-American security guard coming back after Carlito's promo? Do you remember that?
No. Because
Carlito was doing this whole racial thing with...
And Rob wanted him to say something. I know.
Yeah, well, Carlito... He knew he was great because he knew that heel heat, that old school heel heat. And he's, because he was Cuban. So he had the Mexican fans on his side, but then he turned his back on the Mexican fans and dropped the N-word and got heat. And so add to Jimmy and Cronus, add to that.
Yeah.
Our minutes were numbered in that building that night. But how great was it to be at that place? And also, too, the big ball drop. Yeah, you're right. The momentum. We had all that momentum after Go Fuck Yourself. And then we get Onita in there to do a first ever Exploding Ring death match in United States. And we dropped the ball on that one, too. We didn't go forward with that.
We couldn't find it. If I remember right, it had to do with we couldn't find a suitable venue anywhere.
Right.
That's all it was. We could not find a suitable venue, and that's why we ended up doing the high school.
And can you imagine, because, you know, concerts at the sports arena or they have pyro that goes off. So the idea was, we're going to have this exploding cage match again before we lost the sports arena. Imagine that if we were the first ever in the US exploding ring death match and having it at the LA Sports Arena. I mean, that was, to me, the biggest ball drop in company history, was that not going through with Onita, and could have even had it at the LA Sports Arena.
Yeah.
You know.
Well,
guys,
I don't remember why that the ball got dropped. I know Rob, you know, unfortunately, Rob gave Onita a bunch of money. I know that. He put something down and nothing ever happened out of it, unfortunately.
The story I remember hearing was that Onita wanted to bring his crew over, the special effects crew, to set the match up, and Rob didn't want to pay that money. We can get our own crew over here. And looking back, it's like, dude, you should have paid Onita to do that, you know. So yeah, man, a crazy time in the business. We were all a part of it. Once again, Christy Miss, whatever, I hope she's doing well, and pay tribute to the late great, the man himself, Supreme, right there on the left. Yeah, the six of us there, at Ground Zero at the Grand Olympic Auditorium. And again, yes, people do talk about it. I just heard a bunch of people in Alabama, at least 3 or 4 people, bring it up to me within the hour that I showed up at the venue. So yes, people talk about this, and of course WWE wouldn't have this on if it wasn't a topic of conversation. So we figured here at the Wrestling Chatter we would celebrate 25 years ago. That's the bad news, guys, that it's 25 years ago. But
Yeah.
but any closing thoughts?
It'll be 31 years for me being in the business.
That's well, yeah.
Congratulations, Jimmy.
Yeah, congrats, man.
What about you? You're the same. 30.
I'm about
right?
30 this year.
30,
yeah, 30 this year.
30. Billy
I'll be
started
30.
with me in Slammers, right?
Yeah.
96, but I'm not in it like you and Joey, man. You guys are doing the grind. Like I haven't done the grind in years. You guys are still doing it, which
I'm still
I commend both of you.
setting up and tearing down rings.
Yep.
Oh my God.
And Joey, like Joey, look at Joey, like, dude,
Yeah.
training.
Yeah,
I mean, he's got his guys
definitely
on,
hats off to you,
AEW
Joey.
and everything. Like, good for you, Joey. Extremely proud of
Oh
you. bro.
yeah.
Dude,
Fuck yeah.
I'll tell you guys firsthand. Thanks to you, it's been great reconnecting with you, Joey. Finally, what have we been waiting for? We're working together again.
Yes.
But yeah, man, what an outfit, Santino Brothers. I'm not just saying this because I came in there and it was like, oh, we're treating it like this. Oh, we're treating it. This is a real television product, and all that. This was great. It was shades of Wrestling Society X. All right, the camera's coming. Like, oh, this is great. So awesome stuff. Happy and proud to be a part of it. But guys, man.
Wait. I got one question. Sorry. So you did a Hall of Fame, a one-time Hall of Fame deal for Santino's?
Yeah. We know every year we've been meaning to do it again. Everything gets crazy busy. I get ahead of myself. I was supposed to do a 30-year anniversary last year for myself.
Right.
But I do plan on bringing it back. Would like to bring it back. And so like you guys were definitely on my list. So like Jimmy would be on my list. Angel would be on my list, to do it. And I always say, hey, when I do it, who am I? I'm not an authority figure, but people, like when Supreme passed away, that was part of his thing. They were saying, yeah, it's SoCal Deathmatch Hall of Fame. So I definitely want to do it again. I get caught up sometimes, Jimmy.
Yeah.
Well, Joey said the reason he did
on
it.
my list.
Joey's like, the only way I can get you to come down here is if I put you in a Hall of Fame. I was like, all right, cool. So, but yeah, no, that was a very special, cool night. It was cool because Luke was there. It was awesome, man.
Yeah.
Thank you, Joey.
Yeah. Thank you for all that you're doing, man. You're keeping the dream alive, and man, it's a beautiful thing. And we all made our mark, fellas. And, you know, it was really great seeing all three of you. It's bringing me back, man, already to that camaraderie that we all had, and a special time that we were privileged enough, I feel, to be in the business. Again, on that last wave, when this old school world of wrestling was really still going, the one we grew up with. And we were there and we felt it, man. Like I could tell just by us talking again, how it's just like that. We go back into those days of, it was a special, special time with a group of special people. And we were doing something very special, you know, and the mark is still there, you know, like I said, people still bring it up. And I want to thank the IWA. They just inducted me into the Hall of Fame, their class of 2025. And again, that just shows you right there, these guys.
Cool, dude.
Well, that's, I'm just saying, I'm just bringing that up because we've made our mark, man. I mean, people still talk about all this, and it was a special time. And you're right, Joey, when we were shooting the shit over at Pinky's, it's like, yeah, it was that great, you know, and
Yeah,
it was awesome. So thank you guys. Any shout outs, Billy, Jimmy, Joey, any shout outs to anybody and any plugs? Any one of you guys want to kick that off?
Well, let's plug Santino Brothers first and foremost, right?
oh yeah, SantinoBros.net, pro wrestling school in Los Angeles.
Fuck yeah.
But yeah, shout out to you guys. Shout out to Homeless Jimmy, Messiah, Supreme, Sabu, you know,
all the greats that helped us along the way.
Terry Funk.
Yeah, Terry Funk. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, man.
Tracy Smothers, just lost him too, unfortunately.
Oh, Tracy.
Yeah.
He's another guy.
He's
another guy that really
falling out.
Hey, I'm just gonna say Tracy was another guy that was always ready to help everybody out, help the guys out. I remember when even Rivera and I came to the ring, non-wrestlers, he was going to be the first out. He goes, okay, which one of you guys is face? Which is heel? Okay, I'm going to talk bad about the football team here in wherever we were. And but anyway, I'm glad.
Did we just lose Joey?
Yeah, shout out to Tracy Smothers. There we go. Shout out to Tracy Smothers and everybody that we lost. And I mean, the list goes on and on. Dynamite D, of course, was one of the forefathers out here. Your cousin, Jimmy. And one of the greats, one of the first people I met to get, all of us, right? Wrestle Talk. We all called it Wrestle Talk. So,
yeah, hell yeah.
But Billy,
and now you got the wrestling chatter.
That's right. Yeah, see, it all started with Dynamite D, man. It all started with Dynamite D.
Well, I'll give a shout out to my guys, the Dwarfinators. We will be in California here soon when we come back on tour. We'll be in a few places, and I'll post that. So keep an eye, guys. I'd hope to see you guys there.
Check it out.
Yeah,
Jimmy.
I think we got a Pico Rivera. Isn't that close to you?
Oh yeah.
We used to do shows there. Pico.
Yeah. So we're going to be in one of the places I saw is going to be in Pico Rivera. So I'll shoot you guys a little, reminders. That way, maybe you could guys make a point to come and check it out and hang out.
And where can we find you online, Jimmy? With
me
with your organization?
Yeah, just go Xtreme Dwarfinators.
Okay, cool. And
awesome.
Here's the.
Okay, great. And anything, by the way, Billy on location in Hawaii, Jimmy's down in Texas, staying dry, I hope. And I think
it's muggy as fuck here. I'm sweating my ass off.
Well, at least don't find yourself down a river is what I mean. You know, be careful out there. And well, thank you guys for joining.
Lizards here.
Any plugs, shout outs, Billy and Joey?
Yeah,
not on my end, dude.
Bros.
Okay.
Yeah, just Santino Bros and Dwarfinators for me too.
All right. And then how can we find you guys?
Enjoy the rest of your vacation, brother.
Oh, appreciate it. Thank you guys.
Really quick, how do we find you guys on social media? Are you guys individually?
I'm at Kaos, Joey Kaos Munoz on the social medias, Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. Check me out.
Jimmy Jaffil on Facebook, but I'm about to start ghosting a lot of people, so I'm trying to clean the closet, if will, you know. I got a lot of too many people, too much crap on Facebook, so I'm trying to clean it up so I could see more of who I really want to see, like you guys, you know.
Well, don't bug this guy.
You know how Facebook works. If you have too many people on there, you see all the other clutter. So I just want to weed it out to the important people.
Don't bug this guy. Give him some good stuff on Facebook. And Billy, you are
just Billy. I think Billy Messiah. I think like on Instagram or Billy Welch on Facebook. That's it, man. I mean, you just can see pictures of my kids and my wife. That's it. You know?
Cool, man. Well, I hope
you know what I was thinking. I don't know what was going in my mind just now. I was like, hey, we should do one of those. Here's the story about the.
There we go.
Well, guys, this was awesome. My name, Kris Kloss on Facebook. Hit me up. And this was great, guys. 25 years to the day. Something that people are still talking about, believe it or not. Heatwave 2000, July 16th. From the Grand Olympic Auditorium, where we were there invading Ground Zero, XPW versus ECW, whatever people want to call it. So we hope everybody that joined us here for this show that is still interested in this, fascinated by it, we hope you enjoyed this episode. More episodes of Xtreme Memories on the 15th and the 30th of every single month. Be sure to like, share, comment, subscribe to the Wrestling Chatter YouTube channel. For this guy, Joey, right down there, to Jimmy diagonally there, and right here, Billy the Messiah. Thank you, gentlemen. Great seeing you all again, brothers. I appreciate this.
Yeah. Good seeing all you guys too, man.
All right.
See you guys.
Thanks for joining us.
Love you all.